Have you ever noticed that you can scroll on your phone for 2 hours without getting tired, yet reading just 5 pages of a book suddenly feels impossible? You open your laptop to get some work done, but within minutes your hand reaches for your phone without even thinking. If this feels familiar, you're not lazy, and you're definitely not broken. Your brain has simply been trained to crave constant stimulation. And today, you'll discover how dopamine overload is quietly destroying your focus, your motivation, and your attention, and how you can reset your brain in just 30 days. But before you try fixing your brain, you need to understand one important truth. Dopamine is not your enemy. In fact, without dopamine, you wouldn't have the motivation to work, exercise, build relationships, or chase your goals. Dopamine is simply the chemical that pushes you toward rewards. The real problem begins when your brain starts receiving huge amounts of artificial dopamine every single day. That's when normal life slowly starts feeling boring, even though nothing around you has actually changed. The biggest mistake people make is believing that dopamine itself is the enemy. It isn't. Dopamine is one of the most important chemicals in your brain. It gives you motivation to chase goals, learn new skills, solve problems, exercise, and even build meaningful relationships. Without dopamine, you wouldn't feel excited about achieving anything. The real problem begins when your brain receives powerful rewards too often, without any effort. That's when your brain slowly forgets how to enjoy normal life. And this changes something most people never notice. The more instant rewards your brain receives, the less satisfying normal life begins to feel. Reading suddenly feels boring. Working feels exhausting. Studying feels painfully slow. Even spending quiet time with yourself becomes uncomfortable. Not because these activities lost their value, but because your brain's reward system has quietly adjusted to expecting excitement every few seconds. Here's the biggest mistake almost everyone makes during a dopamine detox. They try to rely on motivation alone. They tell themselves, "I'll just use my phone less." But willpower fades quickly when your environment is designed to distract you. Every notification, every shortcut, and every tempting app makes the habit harder to break. The smartest strategy isn't stronger self-control. It's making distractions harder to reach in the first place. Week 1 is all about lowering the noise, not punishing yourself. Most people make the mistake of trying to quit everything overnight. They delete every app, stop all entertainment, and expect instant discipline. But your brain doesn't adapt well to sudden extremes. Instead, begin by removing only the biggest dopamine spike. For most people, that's endless short-form videos, constant notifications, and mindless scrolling. You're not removing happiness. You're simply giving your brain room to breathe again. Multitasking feels productive, but your brain doesn't actually do two things at once. It simply switches attention back and forth. Every time you jump from your work to your phone, then to a video, and back again, your focus breaks. These tiny interruptions build up throughout the day. In the end, you feel mentally exhausted, not because you worked too much, but because your attention was constantly being pulled in different directions. Your brain works best when it focuses on one task at a time. Even a quick glance at your phone can break your concentration, and it often takes several minutes to fully focus again. That's why successful people protect their attention instead of giving it away. Deep focus isn't a talent you're born with. It's a habit that grows stronger every time you remove distractions and stay committed to one important task. But here's something most people never realize. Your brain isn't permanently damaged. It's simply adapting to whatever you repeat every day. The same neuroplasticity that trained your brain to crave constant stimulation can also train it to enjoy focus again. Every time you choose reading over scrolling, silence over endless noise, or deep work over distraction, you're literally rewiring your brain. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with every small decision, your attention grows stronger and your mind becomes calmer. By the second week, many people make one mistake. They think the detox isn't working because they still crave their phone. But that's actually a sign your brain is adjusting. For the first time, you're noticing habits that used to run on autopilot. Instead of escaping that discomfort, sit with it. Every time you resist the urge to scroll, you're weakening an old habit and strengthening a new one. This is where real change begins. As your brain slowly adjusts, something surprising begins to happen. Activities that once felt boring start becoming enjoyable again. Reading becomes easier. Conversations feel more meaningful. Even a quiet walk feels relaxing instead of uncomfortable. This isn't because the world has changed. It's because your brain is becoming more sensitive to natural rewards again. You're not losing pleasure. You're rediscovering it where it truly belongs. Another powerful change happens during this stage. Your mind becomes quieter. The constant urge to check your phone slowly fades, and you begin feeling more present in everyday moments. Instead of reacting to every notification, you start choosing where your attention goes. That feeling of being in control again is incredibly powerful. Because real freedom isn't having unlimited entertainment. It's having the ability to decide what deserves your attention. Many people think a dopamine detox is about removing pleasure from life, but that's completely wrong. The goal isn't to enjoy less. It's to stop depending on constant stimulation just to feel okay. When your brain resets, simple moments become enjoyable again. A good conversation, a quiet morning, a walk outside, or finishing meaningful work begins to feel genuinely satisfying. That's not losing excitement. That's regaining balance. One of the biggest misunderstandings about dopamine detox is that people think they must quit technology forever. That's not the goal. Your phone isn't the enemy. The real problem is using it to escape boredom, stress, loneliness, or difficult emotions. When you stop using distraction as emotional medicine, technology becomes a useful tool instead of something that controls your life. You stay in charge, not your habits. The best part about a dopamine detox isn't that it changes your phone habits. It changes your identity. Instead of becoming someone who reacts to every notification, you become someone who makes intentional choices. Every small decision, reading one more page, going for a walk, finishing your work before checking your phone, slowly builds a new version of you. And those small choices eventually create a completely different life. Your phone was never the real enemy. The real challenge was learning to use it with intention instead of impulse. Every time you choose focus over distraction, reading over scrolling, or real life over endless stimulation, you're strengthening your brain. Small choices may seem unimportant today, but repeated every day, they completely transform your future. So the next time you pick up your phone, ask yourself one simple question. Am I controlling my phone, or is my phone controlling me? Because the quality of your attention will always shape the quality of your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this.